you guys? Liv here, once again with a new video. My next few videos will be coming from a poll that I posted in Discord. I gave you guys a list of about 5 or 6 options, and this seemed to be the one that most of you guys were hyped for. So if you couldn't tell by the title or by the poll on the screen, I'm going to be listing my favorite starter Pokemon from every single region. Starting off with Generation 1 and starting off with something that's going to be a pretty common theme throughout this video, it is Squirtle. I can't really use the nostalgia card for this Pokemon, seeing as I didn't play through Generation 1 until after I had played through Generation 6. But even though I was late to the party on the games, I did watch the anime. And to no surprise, one of my favorite episodes of the anime was the Squirtle Squad episode. They were just so derpy and badass and derpily badass, there's no way that I couldn't fall in love with this Pokemon. Which is definitely the reason why every single time I play through Kanto, I pick Squirtle as my starter, and in the Isle of Armor, when you could choose between Squirtle and Bulbasaur, I in fact picked Squirtle. Moving on to Generation 2, my favorite starter from Johto is Totodile. You can probably already tell that my type is cute water types. Not even mentioning that it evolves into the total badass that is Feraligatr. That badass got that ass. The first non-water starter on this list is here primarily because it was my first starter ever. My first game was Pokemon Ruby when I was really young, and even though I can't really remember most of it, and even though I didn't really comprehend the game as I was playing it, it does hold a lot of nostalgia for me. Plus, its anime appearances really make it look like a badass. Alright, Gen 4, we're back to the cute little round water starters. We got Piplup. And when I say Piplup, I don't mean just Piplup like most people do when they say that. I mean the entire line. Empoleon, Prinplup, they're included. I think that the amount of hate that they get is unreasonable, and Water Steel is a really cool type for a starter evolution line. And Dawn's Piplup from the anime definitely adds to this because growing up I always wanted to be Dawn and I always wanted to have that little Piplup on my shoulder just like she did. And the game that got me back into Pokemon, Generation 5, to no surprise, it is Oshawott. I have talked about Oshawott many times, including in my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time video. Generation 5 is probably the most nostalgic for me, saying it is the first Pokemon game that I cognizantly played through, knowing what I was doing when I could fully read the dialogue and experience the story and game for what it was. I was obsessed with Oshawott as soon as I laid eyes on it. You know how kids always have those things that they draw everywhere? Well, mine was Oshawott. I believe the year was 2012 and my family was taking up the carpet from the floors and replacing it with hardwood floors. And on the little layer underneath the flooring, I drew an Oshawott. That's how much I loved Oshawott. That's what I wanted to remember next time these floors were pulled up. Moving on to Gen 6, my favorite starter Pokemon for Kalos is Fennekin. But I just love how the majority of the fire starters before this Pokemon have been entirely masculine and burly. And then the Fennekin line are just these graceful fire witches. And you guys know how I feel about witchy stuff. And Generation 7, Alola has to be Litten. Litten is a little edgy emo fire cat. How are you supposed to not love it? It helps that it was announced at the peak of my emo phase, but even if it wasn't, I still think that I would have the same attachment for it that I do now. And cats are my favorite animal, so I will say that when I play through with it, I do keep it as a Torracat, for obvious reasons. And finally, Generation 8 is Scorbunny. I'll be honest, my reasoning for this one is entirely a cop-out. I just don't like Inteleon or Rillaboom. I think that they're both ugly and disgusting. Okay, that was a little extreme. Inteleon is not horrible. Inteleon would definitely be my second choice, but Rillaboom is in fact horrible. Scorbunny is just the one that I like the most aesthetically and pretty much in every single way. It's the only one that I like just a little bit, if you didn't notice. But anyway guys, before I get myself canceled with Rillaboom and Inteleon slander, I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like on the video. It really helps boost my reach. And subscribing would also really help me out. I'm hoping that I can hit 1K before my birthday, which is about a month and a half away. But in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.